Hello everyone, welcome back to your own mathematics channel, asm.geniusjunction. I am Abhishek sir, your mathematics mentor. In today's video, we are going to cover 9709 Unit 2 Logarithm and Exponential Functions. This is your video number 2. So those who have still not gone through with video number 1, I suggest to go through with video number 1 so that you can effectively understand what is covered in video number 2. In this video, we are going to cover the topics that is laws of logarithm and logarithm to base a. So let's start without wasting time. Yes, so now we will start with the basic laws of logarithm. So there are few basic laws in logarithm which we need to follow for solving the questions. So first of all, we will understand the first law. The first law says that if we are having log of mn with base a, that is two numbers are multiplied and we are having a log of that. So we can write it in the form of log m with base a plus log n with base a. This expression helps you to convert complex multiplication questions into simple addition questions. Your second law is based on division concept. So you can write log m over n with base a can be written as log m minus log n. Both the ways we are going to have base a. You can clearly see that in this particular part we have converted a multiplication question into addition, and in this one we are having a complex division question which is converted to subtraction. So that's the reason in the first video we stated that the logarithm helps you to convert complex multiplication questions to simple addition and subtraction. Now we will move on to some basic formulas which we need to understand for logarithm chapter. Your third important formula is log of a with base b is equals to x. Suppose if you are having this logarithmic expression and you wanted to convert to exponential functions, then we can easily write it as a is equals to b raised to the power x. Some of the times the students ask me how we need to learn them. So here I will say that your base is b over here and it will remain your base as it is. Your answer becomes exponent. Let's understand it with the help of an example. Suppose we are having log of 8 with base 2 and answer is given to you as 3 and we need to convert it to exponential form. Then how we are going to convert it? So this is very simple. What we are going to do is I will write base 2 with power as 3 and your final answer given becomes 8. So here we have converted a simple logarithmic function to exponential function. Okay, so now we are moving on to fourth important formula that is based on log of a with the power b and base is c. We can write it as b log a with base c. This formula is also very important, and to understand it, let's take an example. Suppose we are having log of 2 with the power as 5 and base is, let's say, 10. So we can write it as 5 times log of 2 with base 10. This is again going to be very useful while solving the equations and questions based on log. Based on the same concept, I am writing your fifth expression, that is log of 1 upon b with base a. We can write it as negative log of b with base a. To understand this, let's take an example. Suppose if we are having log of 1 upon 7 with base as 2. So we can write it as log of 7 with power as minus 1. Base will remain 2. And again, I can write it as minus 1 log 7 with base 2. So here we can see that we have used the expression of fourth step to solve this particular expression, where we have brought this power as a coefficient. Moving to sixth step. Now formula number 6 is also termed as base changing theorem. In this formula we are having log of a with base b. So there will be many cases in the questions where we need to convert the bases as well. Right now base is b and we need to convert it to, let's say, base f. So I can write it as log of a with base f and log of b with base f. In this expression, what we have done is we have converted this base b to base f in both numerator as well as denominator. How we are going to apply this particular formula, let's understand this with the help of an example. We are having log of 49 with base 10, and now we want to convert it to base 2. So I can write it as log 49 with base 2 and log 10 with base 2. So we can easily convert base 10 to base 2. I hope you are able to understand what we are trying to convey to you. In seventh expression, we are going to convert y is equals to e raised to the power x to natural log format, and we will write it as x is equals to ln y. How we actually convert y is equals to e raised to the power x to x is equals to ln y? Let's understand this. Suppose if we are having this as a final expression, so first of all I will write log on both the sides with base e. So we are taking log on both the sides and we are keeping the base as e. E is a Euler's constant. In the next step, I will write log y with base e is equals to x log e with base e. And here we need to understand that log e base e becomes 1. So finally I will write it as log y with base e is equals to x, and this complete expression becomes 1. So we are not writing it again, and in the next step we can easily write it as ln y is equals to x. For those who have not gone through with video number 1, we can write log y with base e in the short form as ln y. Okay, so one more important thing which we need to remember while solving the questions, that is log of 1 with base a will always remain equals to 0. You can cross check all these things with the help of calculator as well, right? So now we have gone through with all the important formulas which are going to be used in logarithm. So let's start with the solution of questions which are based on these concepts. This is our first question of this video, where we are having an expression 5 raised to the power 3 equals to 125, and we need to convert it to logarithmic form. So we need to convert an exponential form to logarithmic form. So first of all, you need to take log on both the sides, take log on both the sides. I'm writing down these steps so that everyone can understand and remember how we solve these questions. So first step is take a log on both the sides. So I will write log 5 raised to the power 3 is equals to log 125. Now using the formulas of logarithm, this power 3 will become coefficient, and this can be written as log 3 log 5 is equals to log 125. You need to understand that when we are writing only log, it means that we are having base as 10, right? So base 10 is not required to be written. In the next step, this can be written as 3 equals log 125 over log 5. In the next step, we can write it as 3 equals log 125 with base 5. Here we have used base changing theorem, to write it as log 125 base 5 equals 5. So you can see this was your exponential function, and with the help of logarithmic concepts we have converted this exponential function to logarithmic function. We will do few more questions to understand how we need to convert these things. So in the next part we are having convert log x with base 3 equals 2.5 to exponential functions. In this question we need to convert a logarithmic expression to exponential expression. So we need to remember what we have understood while doing the questions. In this particular question, this is your base, and I told you that base will always remain base and it will move on the right hand side. So I will write it as equals to sign. On the right hand side, this base will remain as it is, and your answer, this is your answer, this your answer becomes exponent. So I will write it as 3 raised to the power 2.5, and on the left hand side I will be left with x. We have converted this logarithmic function to exponential function. Question. Let's do few more questions which are based on the same concept. So now for the practice point of view, we will convert few more questions from exponential form to logarithmic form. We are doing few questions so that we can have a quick understanding how to convert a question from exponential form to logarithmic form. So here we are having few questions, that is, let's say 5 raised to the power 2 is equals to 25. So before converting this particular expression from exponential function to logarithmic function, we need to remember that this is your base 5 and this base will remain base. Okay, I will write log with base 5 of 25 to 2. Okay, so now we are going to understand how to convert exponential functions to logarithmic functions. So we will take few examples. So this becomes, so let's take 5 raised to the power 2 is equals to 25. We can compare this particular question to the question which we have done above. So we can easily see that 5 raised to the power 3 is equals to 125, and when we convert it to logarithmic form, we can see that your power becomes answer, your power becomes answer, your base remains base, and this 125 will remain as it is. Okay, so applying the same concept over here in this particular question, we can write it as log of 25 with base 5, and on the right hand side we will get 2. So now we will speed up the things because we have already understood how we have converted the things. So let's write 2 raised to the power 4 equals 16. If we convert it to logarithmic form, let's be quick, we will convert it as log of 16 with base 2 is equals to 4. With the same pace, let's take 2 raised to the power minus 10 equals 1 upon 1024. Suppose we want to convert it to logarithmic form, so I will write it as log of 1 over 1024 with base 2 is equals to minus 10. Here we are having, now we are having 8 with the power as x is equals to 15. When we will convert it to logarithmic form, we will write it as log of 15 with base 8 is equals to x. Suppose we are having a raised to the power b is equals to c, and we want to convert it to logarithmic form, so I will write it as log of c with base a is equals to B. Taking few more questions. Suppose we are having x raised to the power 5y is equals to 7. When we will convert it to logarithmic form, we will write it as log of 7 with base x is equals to 5y. I hope you are able to understand now that how we convert exponential function to logarithmic function. Now, in the next step, we are going to convert logarithmic functions to exponential functions. So we are going to convert logarithmic functions to exponential functions. Let's start with the practice part. So here we are having again first question as log 8 with base 2 equals to 3. So I can write it as 8 equals 2 with the power 3. Maximum number of times students ask me that, sir, do we need to learn all these things or we can apply the formulas? So my answer is you can definitely understand how we converted this particular expression from logarithmic to exponential. There are steps involved above, but in examination you will not be having that much time to write down all these steps. So these are basic questions, and while solving these questions you should be able to convert these exponential functions to logarithmic and logarithmic functions to exponentials in seconds. Otherwise your paper will seem to be lengthy to you. Yeah, so now we are moving on to second question. That is, suppose we are having log of 81 with base 3 and on the right hand side we are having 4. Okay, so now we need to convert this particular expression to exponential function. So I will write it as this is your base 3, so it will remain base as it is. This is power 4 and on the right hand side I will write 81. Again we are taking one more question. Let's say this is log 4 with base 16 is equals to 1 by 2. Now this 16 is a base, so it will remain base as it is. Power is 1 by 2 and answer becomes 4. Taking few more examples to concrete our understanding. This is, let's say, log y with base 2 and on the right hand side we are having 4. So now we are converting it again, so I can write it as 2 raised to the power 4 and on the right hand side I will have y. Taking one more, this is the last one. So let's take log 5 with base x is equals to y. Now I believe that you all have understood how we convert them. So this is your base x, it will remain as it is. So this is your base, it will remain base. Your answer will become power and it is going to become equal to 5. So now we have understood how we convert logarithmic functions to exponential functions. Let's now solve few questions which are based on these concepts. Now we are having one more type of question, that is they ask you to solve log 3x minus 1 with base 2 and on the right hand side we are given 5. How we solve these types of questions? First of all, we need to understand that this is your logarithmic function and we need to convert it from logarithmic to exponential to solve it quickly. So 2 is your base and it will remain base. Power is 5 and on the right hand side we will write 3x minus 1. On the next step, 2 raised to the power 5 becomes 32. This is your 3x minus 1. Now it is a question of a second. This is your 3x is equals to 33 and finally x becomes equals to 11. So your final answer is x is equals to 11 for this particular question. Okay, so now we have understood how to convert logarithmic to exponential, exponential to logarithmic, and we have understood how to solve the question as well. So let's take questions which are based on simplification part. So they are asking you to simplify. So let's take few questions. Your first question is log x over cube root of x with base as x. So how we can solve this? First of all, I will write log x with power as 1 minus 1 by 3, and base will remain x as it is. In the next step, this is your log power x raised to power 1 minus 1 by 3, that is 2 by 3, and this is your base x. Now using the power rule of log, I can write it as 2 by 3 times log x base x. Now we know that log x base x is 1, so your final answer becomes 2 by 3. So yes, this is your final answer for the given question. In the starting it was looking very complicated, but you can see that using your logarithmic concepts you can easily solve a division question and you can finally write down the answer. Take one more question of the same type to increase our understanding. Let's take log x square over square root of x, and this is your base x and your power is 3. This is again a simple question, so in this one I will write x raised to the power 6 because 2 and 3 will multiply definitely, and this is your x raised to the power half which is multiplied with 3, so it will become 3 by 2. Your base is x as it is. In the next step, this is log, your power is 6 minus 3 by 2, and your base is again x as it is. Now I will write it as x raised to the power, this is going to become 2 6 are 12, 12 minus 3 is 9, so it will become 9 by 2, and base will remain x, and in this way your final answer becomes 9 over 2 for the given question. So now again we have solved a question which is based on logarithmic concepts, and here again you can see that we have used logarithmic concepts to simplify the things. We have not used calculator yet. Okay, so now we are going to take some good level questions to check our understanding. This is your next question which is asking us to solve, and what they have given us: log with base 2 log x with base 3, and on the right hand side it is equals to minus 1. How we are going to solve this? So first of all I will say let log x with base 3 is a. So now we have taken this complete expression as a. So now since this expression is taken as a, this complete expression reduces to log a with base 2. On the right hand side it is minus 1. Using your concepts of log, you can write it as a equals to 2 raised to the power minus 1. So this becomes a is equals to 1 by 2. So now we can write a, that is log x base 3 equals to 1 by 2. And now again we are going to use the concepts of log. So I can write it as x is equals to 3 raised to the power 1 by 2, and this becomes x is equals to root 3 as the final answer for the given question. So here you can see that it was a complex looking question which is solved by using logarithmic concepts, and it is solved very easily. Moving on to next level question. Let's take one more question. This is log 2 with exponent as 3 minus 5x with base 4, and it is given equals to x raised to the power 2. Again we will convert this logarithmic expression to exponential expression. So I will write 2 raised to the power 3 minus 5x, and on the right hand side we will have 4 with power as x square. We can convert this 4 to the power 2 raised to the power 2. So this one question becomes 2 raised to the power 3 minus 5x, and on the right hand side this becomes 2 raised to the power 2x square. So now in the next step we can easily solve it by equating the powers. So this becomes 3 minus 5x is equals to 2x square, and finally on arranging the terms I can write it as 2x square plus 5x minus 3 gives you 0. So this is our quadratic, and solving quadratic by using calculator is allowed. So we will use calculator. Your coefficients are 2, 5 and minus 3. Okay, so this equation can be solved using calculator. Okay, we should try to use your calcs as much as you can so that you can get the correct answers. After this question, if you are committing a mistake, it means we are gifting our numbers, right? So let's quickly use calculator. So your coefficients are 2, 5 and minus 3. So quickly place them in the calculator: 2, 5 and minus 3. So your answer becomes x is equals to minus 3 or 0.5. So these are the two answers which we are getting for the given question. Yes, so now I expect that you all have understood how to convert a logarithmic expression to exponential expression, from exponential to logarithmic, as well as to solve the questions based on logarithmic expression which can be converted to exponential expressions. Keep practicing. We will meet in the next videos. Till then, practice all the questions which are discussed in this video. Have a good day.